ago, I read a book from Tom Horn and Chris Putnam. They wrote this book called Petrus Romanus.
Yeah, I have never read it, actually. I know you had mentioned it when we were going back and forth, but
Yeah,
I love it. I just haven't read it yet.
It's been 10 or 15 years ago, so this is not fresh in my mind. I read it because there was a prophecy that a fellow named Saint Malachy from the 12th century, this Irish bishop guy, had made this prophecy of all the popes, and then the prophecy comes to an end at the last pope or whatever. And kind of in good eschatology of probably what Tom was coming from, kind of some date setting and stuff like that. It kind of coincided right when they wrote the book. Obviously, that's why they did it. And with a lot of the eschatology kind of date setting that I grew up with, I had already been out of that stuff by that point in time, but I was still interested to see what they would say about this prophecy. And so I don't it's a weird thing. That's all I know. That prophecy, whatever it is, it has some really strangely accurate ways of making you think about at least some of the popes, maybe not all of them, but some of them, kind of some of the things they're mainly known for. How much of that is like you put your own impression of what a pope was upon what the prophecy was, and it becomes self-fulfilling or something? I don't know.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But then it comes to an end, and I don't remember if Benedict was supposed to be the last pope or if Francis was. I tend to think it was Francis.
I think it's Francis.
That gets back to the whole weirdness of how Francis became the pope, right?
Yeah.
In usurping Benedict. I mean, basically, Benedict didn't want to quit being pope at all, and all of a sudden, one day, he's just gone. So it's like when you look at something like that through an eschatological lens, right? This should be it. There shouldn't be any more popes.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's kind of like, okay, another failed prediction or whatever. But of course, people will take that and go, well, they can make any prophecy that they want to, go just about any direction that they want to, especially when it's not biblical, to just kind of continue to suit the needs of the day. I would look at it more historically, what has happened with Rome over the course of 2,000 years. I mean, Rome, if just think about it, a brief history of the Roman Church, it starts with the letter to the Romans, right?
Yeah.
And so there was nothing wrong with the church at Rome. And at some point fairly early, they started, a lot of it because Rome was the political power of the world, not just the main church power. They started getting more and more power, probably not just collecting it themselves, but probably thrown upon them from the rest of the church. It's like, well, you're Rome, so you should tell us what to do. And of course, over time, then this turns into popes. And even when it turned into popes, I'm not willing to say that was completely an evil thing, although you can start to see some problems with this idea and how it ends up becoming that this guy becomes the vicar of Christ on earth, the head of the entire church.
Yeah.
And so by the time you get, I don't know, 5th, 6th, 7th centuries, you're starting to get the Eastern Church getting very upset about this. They don't recognize the Pope as this vicar of Christ, and the church ends up splitting around 1000 AD or something like that between East and West. And the Pope was one of the two main things that they were fighting about. The East is like, there's no one head of the church. And then Rome is like, no, there is. And he's our guy.